Hey guys, it's Nate, aka the Foot Accountant. Welcome back to the channel. A lot of times in Ultimate Team, the meta cards are the ones moving up in price on the market the most, and that's because everybody wants to use them. And right now in these early stages of FC26, everybody's trying to figure out what works the best, what doesn't work very well. And I think people may have found something, because we've got some specific cards moving up like crazy on the market. Were they just undervalued, or are they actually very OP in game? Now, also, just use the cards you want to use. I'm not going to talk about the meta today and try to expose a meta or anything like that. I'm just talking about how player prices have moved on the market and why people maybe want these cards. Now, speaking of the market, we have prices moving up on a lot of players, including these Team of the Week 1 cards and a lot of the middle tier of the market after squad battle rewards were released yesterday. Now, is the market going to continue to rise today on Monday? I'm hoping that it will. We're going to talk about all that and maybe the first upgrade pack SBCs of the year today on Monday in FC26 as well. If you guys are excited for the video, drop a thumbs up on it, hype the video, and subscribe if you are new. Now, starting things off, I want to look back at yesterday's Sunday content where we had new SBCs and our first goalkeeper true evolution ever. First at SBCs, we have the Early Access Challenge 1, which is for a rare gold pack, untradeable, solid pack, nothing super crazy. It's very easy to complete. You just need bronzes and silvers. Clubs maximum 3 is probably the most difficult part about this, but just try to find some players that you have in your club that are bronze and silver that play for the same club, and then try to make a squad out of that. Get 25 chemistry. It is a little difficult to kind of find those things, but most of us will probably have those in our club from the various bronze and silver packs that we've gotten from the start of the year. The other SBC set yesterday was our first showdown SBCs of FC26 with Yuri Berchiche and Nicolas Pepe. You can see there's only one SBC here because I've completed the other one, but Yuri Berchiche is an 80 and 81 rated squad coming in at only 10,000 coins. He's a decent card, not super crazy. It's the Pepe that is favored by most of the community, and I think for good reason. 89 pace, 84 dribbling. He's got 4-star skills. He can play striker, right wing, and right mid, and he is only 17,000 coins. 80, 81, and 82 rated squads. Now, that is an SBC for an early game time period right now. That's the price of an SBC that I think all of us would be able to complete very easily. He's got technical, inventive, whip pass, and finesse shot playstyles. It's a good card. Again, you got a roll plus on this card, inside forward, right mid. You got plus on the right wing position for the same role, and then striker false 9. But that's the interesting thing with these showdown cards. Whoever ends up winning the match will get a +1 overall and another roll plus. So if Berchiche and Athletic Club win, he's going to get a second roll plus, and the same thing for Pepe. That's going to create a really unique situation where these cards will only be 83 rated but have 2 roll pluses for a early stage of the game where not many cards even have 1 roll plus. So I think that's pretty interesting there. But again, both of these are super cheap. I would say do one, or maybe do both, to be completely honest. At this time of the year, these are cards that we need to put into our club for the depth, right? We've been talking about it recently. That's one way we're trying to wrap our minds around this new Ultimate Team with all the new live events that we have. The depth of different squads is something that we need, so that's instantly why I did this SBC. I'm kind of starting to build my second squad right now. I packed Araujo yesterday and Di Lorenzo, so I'm kind of making a Serie A and a La Liga hybrid, and Pepe goes right into that with the Araujo and some others. Not an insane card, but like with a +1, he could be pretty good. One thing I want to mention about these showdowns is some people are already starting to evolve these live cards. And with live cards and with evolutions, the one thing you have to be very careful about is if you put, let's say, Berchiche into the new Rising Guard Evo, which he does fit, and you could actually put him in twice and boost his defense +2, just know that whatever upgrade he will get if Athletic Club win, he will probably not get a defensive stat upgrade, because usually with live cards and Evos, if you Evo a live card, they won't get any stat upgrades for their upgrade if there's a stat limit on that evolution for stats on that card. That's one thing to kind of mention and to kind of remind ourselves of. This happened a lot last year in FC25. You could just be a test dummy, I guess, for this year and put in Berchiche or Pepe and see how it works when and if either of those cards do get upgraded. But that is one thing I wanted to kind of mention. Just be careful with evolving live cards. They'll still get upgraded. They will. If Pepe gets evolved by you from an 82 to an 83, he will still get upgraded with a +1 or should, if he deserves the upgrade and obtains the upgrade by them winning. But just know that maybe not all the stats will look the exact same. So it's kind of a try to run risk sort of situation there with evolving live cards. We'll talk about that a lot in the future too, especially with the Road to the Knockouts promo. That'll be a big thing there. Now with evolutions, EA's calling our first goalkeeper evolution of the year the debut. We already have a training camp evo, but I guess that doesn't count. I'd agree, it doesn't. This is the first real evo, and it's a lot different than yesterday's 30,000 coin evolution. I know we talked a lot in yesterday's video about this and how evos are looking different this year, but this looks like such a great evo compared to this one. +2 positioning, up to a max of 84 in that stat, but no overall boost for our first goalkeeper, true goalkeeper evolution ever inside of Ultimate Team. Onana's the top card that shows up for me in here. And the best part, again, is that the overall rating does not get boosted. This is good if you're trying to create a past and present, trying to create a team of players, and you've just got a keeper that you want to kind of start as a building block to a future overpowered card, or kind of a future Evo Beast, if you will. This is kind of the first step in that regard, even though, you know, it's only +2 positioning. It's not that big of a boost. Does this card really get into your starting 11? Probably not for most of us, but, you know, it's Evo I still think is worth doing. It's 91% downvoted, but like, you know, just pick a card from your club and put them into this and have some fun with it is the way I would go with it. A lot of people I think are trying to get that 6'11" bronze Gadella goalkeeper from the Eredivisie to try to evolve him. Of course, he's a very popular Evo card this year with goalkeeper Evos. Since he's 6'11", that's huge in net. That'd be hilarious to pack that card from BPM and then put him into the evolution. One thing I want to note about this goalkeeper Evo is it actually is dropping prices on the market. Jordan Pickford was up at 6,500 coins yesterday, ended up dropping all the way down to 5,200 after content. We didn't really have much supply yesterday with SBC packs giving out tradable cards, maybe just a little bit from the small packs you got from doing the Showdown SBCs, but he dropped down in price, namely because this new Evo allowed for some people to like Evo Nick Pope or Onana, and he put those cards in their teams instead of keeping with the Pickford. So find somebody fun, put it into that goalkeeper Evo, and that's our first one of the year. Only up from here, I guess you could say, with goalkeeper evolutions. Now, let's talk about the other part of content from yesterday. There wasn't a content release, but it's content for us because take a look at some players on the market, namely this Michelle Dumornay card, which is a card that I've actually been lucky enough to pack already. One of my first big pack pulls on the web app. She is going crazy in price, and there was a few more kind of specific cards that were going crazy in price on the market yesterday, and just really leaving me wondering, what did people figure out? Did people kind of figure out that there's a meta around a couple specific cards? Is it that she's a female player, a women's player? Is it because of her height and dribbling? Is it the pace? Is it the game changer plus? I don't know the answer to that question, but what I do know is people are searching for the meta in this early game of FC26 because of course, the game is fresh. It's a new game. Sure, the game feels like it could be played in a lot of ways this year, with the passing being good, the left stick dribbling being good. Maybe that's why this card feels so great. But at the same time, is this truly the meta? Because players like Victor Gyökeres and the Enforcer playstyle also seem to be really overpowered. I haven't used it a ton myself, but a lot of people have said that it is. That's great if this game has multiple metas. But when you see a price go up like this much on the market, like somebody has figured out something, or there's a crazy pump and dump that is going on. 36,000 coins for this Dumornay card to 60K plus. She's almost doubled in value, and it's not like her price has just come right back down either. She's staying inflated at the moment. It took her all day, or at least half of the day, to rise from 30 to 60, and she's still 67,000 coins right now. That's really got me asking the question, are people like kind of finding this as the meta? The left stick dribbling is very good. That is fantastic, right? It's one of the things that I enjoy the most about this game, and another reason I think why, if left stick is a big part of the meta and why people are spending coins on these cards, Dabinia is up in price, and she's got 91 dribble. Of course, she's 5-star, maybe a little more difficult to link, but her card jumped up a lot in price yesterday as well. We take a look at the graph from 24,000 coins up to 38K, and just down a little bit from where she is now. But it's not just those two cards. Mallory Swanson up big, probably because she links to Dabinia, at least a little bit there. You've got some other cards that link to Dumornay, as Bompastor Georges are up a lot in value, but you have Diani, who's really skied up in price as well. She's 165,000 coins. She was 120K yesterday early. And then Basha as well. I'm guessing this card is up just because of the links to Dumornay and to Diani, who are flying a lot in value. But even like Rodman, Lauren James, I would say from the beginning parts of this game that the women's players felt very undervalued compared to a lot of the rest of the market. I still look at players like Payor and one of the other, Guro Raiten. That's who I want to show. Guro Raiten to me feels like a budget beast. 14,000 coins for that card is like crazy for those sorts of stats and rapid plus. And then Chawinga as well. There's a couple different Chawingas. That's the D1 Arkema Chawinga, and she's up a little bit, probably because of the links to those cards. And then the NWSL Chawinga, Temwa Chawinga, she's only 5,000 coins for those stats. Again, lower dribbling, but I do feel like some of the women's cards are undervalued as a whole, and maybe this is a bit of a correction of that, or maybe people have figured out something that the shorter women's cards just dribble so much better in game, and that's part of the meta. So I'm not going to sit here and say that we found out the meta for FC26, but when a card rises this much and it stays up there in price, there's a reason. And either it's being hyped up by somebody or people feel like they found something. And I'll tell you, as a first, a user, first-hand experience of this Dumornay card, she is insane. I think I may now run her on false 9++ because I don't like where her attacking movements are. I may switch her to advanced forward plus, but like she's very good. Her dribbling, I don't know, it's maybe Butragueño-esque, like a short player like Butragueño who's just very quick to turn, but also very rapid. That's kind of how I would compare her in terms of how she feels in game, but she's also just kind of different as well. I don't know. She is very good, but I wasn't expecting her price to go up that much. So you have to let me know in the comments. Do you think that's going to be part of the meta this year, or is it just people are trying to hype up cards and figure stuff out right now, and that's why her card went up so much, as people try to figure out the type of meta that we have for this year's game? I'd be really curious to know if that is kind of the meta, and this is something you could do to kind of prepare and to plan ahead of time, is you could start to look around the market and find some players that are in lower to middle budgets that maybe have higher dribbling and that are a bit shorter in stature that could end up going up a lot in price as well. Like the, Trinity Rodman here, she's going up as we noticed. Maybe there's some other players that you could not necessarily invest in straight away, but like just notice like, oh, if this is the meta and this is good, then people might start buying this sort of card. That sort of thing, kind of remember that one. We'll just see how it goes. Keep a watch on those cards. If the hype is real, then they will stay up. If it's not, then they'll probably jump back down in value. Now, speaking of the rest of the market, yesterday, of course, was Squad Battle Rewards, which we talked a lot about yesterday. It brought some supply to the market, but it also brought some price rises. Finally, guys, we saw some graphs going up, and there was a little bit of supply. You could see Araujo dropped a little bit here. This is probably not the best example of a graph, but other player prices had some dips at the Squad Battle Rewards time frame and for an hour or so after, but then prices just kind of lifted off. Araujo from 18K all the way up to 25,000 coins where he is now. Big rise for that card there, and that was where a lot of the cards rose yesterday, kind of in that like 15 to 50K, sub 100K for sure price ranges. A lot of those middle tier metas went up the most after Squad Battle Rewards. Team of the Week 1 rose very good too. You take a look, Erling Haaland's 1.1 mil, he was 900K. Or players kind of like, who else rose? Oh, Pavard went up 10,000 coins yesterday. I believe Firmino is going up in value as well as Yildiz. So kind of those middle tier players are the ones that are going up the most, which makes sense because people are picking up these cards for their teams as they're upgrading, as they get coins from rewards. They're having the ability and they have more facility with more coins to pick up these cards. Look at Doué, right? Doué went from like 60K down to 56, and now he's up at like 64, 65,000 coins, starting to rise a bit on the market. It's that middle tier that's starting to rise because more people can afford these cards, and it is nice to see a market rise. But not everything went up yesterday. There were cards on the top tier, the more expensive ones like Isak, started the day at 210,000 coins, went all the way down to like 180. He is back up to about 200. You are seeing kind of a market rebound across a lot of areas right now, but not everywhere. Definitely not everywhere. You know, some players like Rafa Leao, still 80,000 coins, have not rebounded that well. And Buemo's still like 46,000 coins, but, you know, that's maybe even up a little bit for him. So a lot of, look at all the green here, right in this kind of like 15, 20, 30K tier. Like Messi's up big. Murillo is up 10%. You've got Camavinga up 38%. So a lot of these, again, mid-tier cards are moving, but the top tier ones, if we go to the first page here, not all of these are doing good. Mbappe, Dembele, Vinny, Graham Hansen. These cards, though, if you think about it, are going to be the cards that in a week or two, that people who just bought a Cole Palmer or a Dumornay today for 30, 60,000 coins, somewhere in that range, they're going to have the coins after a couple more weeks to upgrade to a card like this. And that's why I still think that a lot of these top tier cards have potential room to rise. It's still maybe a couple weeks away as we get into the first week in league and stuff like that. But where that's kind of the trajectory that we're on this year, with coins being harder to obtain than last year for sure in FC 25. Now, also, we got to talk about Team of the Week cards. Not the Team of the Week that's in packs, but the Team of the Week that could be coming to packs. Foot Sheriff tweeted this a couple of hours back, kind of about some contenders. I responded to this, very happy that he used Militao in this post because, you know, we invested in Militao. We showed it yesterday. There were even more opportunities to invest still today. Not necessarily in Militao, but Christian Pulisic. He was around 19,000 coins for most of the day. I think he's about 22K now. Ferran Torres scoring 2 goals yesterday on Sunday. Went from 900 coins. I think he might be or was around 2,000 coins. Watch these Team of the Week 2 contender gold cards because they should now just continue to rise into the week, into Monday, today, Tuesday, and Wednesday. As we get closer to the actual release of the Team of the Week, that's when you should see these cards kind of peak. So I listed up Militao's on the market for lazy. Wait, how much is he right now? 71K. Yeah, he's really starting to move up. I think a lot of people are noticing that if Militao gets an inform, the inform is going to be expensive and his gold card is going to be a lot cheaper. So I'm very happy that we invested there. Pulisic, once again, was 19K. I think he's 22 now. Is this accurate? Where's Pulisic? Yeah, 22,000 coins for him as well. So selling the hype is always the way with this, even though they could go a bit higher later on. There's a lot of people investing in this. You're going to want to sell in the hype, and that way you get your coins back too. A lot of the best ways to trade right now in this game are with more rare cards, with the informs, with the heroes, with the icons, and me right now sitting on only 30,000 coins. I feel like I'm missing out on some of the best trading action in the game because people have more coins to afford those cards to use, heroes and icons, I mean, and I don't have the coins myself to go and trade with those right now, which is kind of like, man, I got to get some coins back so I can go flip those cards. But it is nice to finally see the market move up, and I do believe that it could continue to rise up today because I'm not expecting a whole lot of content. I'm not expecting a whole lot of leaks to hurt the market in terms of prices as well. And I wouldn't expect store packs on a Monday or anything super crazy. So we'll, of course, keep in tune with things and keep watching to see what happens and what's released. But should be a safer day in the market today to see some prices go up. Now, a couple things I want to mention from just some other news. EA tweeted about new issues that they're investigating. I know a lot of people, even in America, like myself, have problems connecting to Ultimate Team. Actually, right before recording this video, I was just trying to log in and it gave me the can't connect to the servers error. I restarted the game 2 times and then it worked. That's something that they're looking into. Some foundation and seasonal objectives tracking from pro clubs, and then online ping for matches being really, really high. I also tweeted out something yesterday about rivals bounties because I was having some issues even on stream where the rivals bounties were not giving me the coins or the rivals points that I was supposed to be obtaining. So I tagged EA Direct in that, and I made a post on the feedback portal too. And a lot of you guys seem to have the same issue with those streaks. So hopefully that's something to get fixed up soon. But I wanted to show that because that was something that EA tweeted about yesterday. And the leakers are out here kind of teasing the Cornerstones promo. ASY Foot Trader, this is the promo that's happening on this Friday, by the way, the first true promo of the year. He's posting kind of a predictions here that I wouldn't think this is a leak, but I would say he has leaks. So there may be a couple of these cards that are right. He shows Kuti Romero in here. He shows Hyunmin Son, which Cornerstones are kind of like the long-standing, stable players, the trusted ones from certain clubs. I don't know why Hyunmin Son would be in this promo. He just transferred. Like, sure, he was a cornerstone for Spurs. Anyways, Romero and Son, I don't know. That's kind of weird for me. But VVD would totally make sense. Carvajal would totally make sense for Madrid. So maybe there is 1 or 2 or 3 of these that could be leaks. but we'll just have to wait and see. We're going to be very attentive to the situations of the leak part of the news scene this week to see what happens with cornerstones and what this promo is going to end up looking like, because they do get boosted chemistry. That's one thing to remember. Boosted club chemistry with those cornerstone cards. Now, let's talk about today's content on Monday, because I'm not expecting much, but Mondays in, of course, last year's game of FC25 and even years before that have been upgrade pack days. Usually in, footies and stuff of preseason of FC25, we were getting the 83 plus player picks refreshing. We had 82 plus picks, 81s, right? It's kind of the count up. We start the year with a low rating guarantee upgrade pack, and then we move up throughout the year. We get player picks instead of packs. Last year on the very first Monday, we had a 77 plus double upgrade pack. And it wasn't something that I think we did a lot of, but it's at least the first upgrade pack of the year. And now, after a few days on this game, we've all started to collect at least a little bit of some of those gold cards that aren't that good. I would recommend, by the way, not doing too many of these. These upgrade packs right here that I'm actually about to just try one and show you. And then also doing a bunch of like 77 double upgrades. You don't want to spend too many of your cards from your club on this, just because a lot of these right now will be useful in other SBCs. Like, I don't want to turn in any rares at the moment. I'm trying to make sure I don't turn in any players from like quote unquote big clubs, just because that would be not good for me doing SBCs. So I'm going to turn in one gold upgrade right here, but watch out for maybe our first upgrade packs today. And I will say, if you do have a bunch of gold commons in your club, doing the regular gold upgrade, maybe not after the new 77 or 75 plus, whatever they put out today, but maybe just try a couple of these, because this is where I packed a couple of decent cards in my club from these packs. This is a PSG keep. Is that Chevalier? Is he the new keeper for PSG? After Donnarumma Chevalier 83. Boom. Anything else? That wasn't a great one, but you can get some very lucky pulls from there. So maybe just try one or two of those, but also be careful with how many of those you do, and the 77 pluses or 75 pluses, whatever upgrade pack we get today. I think there's a very high likelihood of that. Just be careful with how many of those that you do. And then, of course, other content that's still out there is the Jensen Squad Foundations. This is very possible to be dropped today. Also, we have the Chukwuemeka SBC. We don't have any new leaks as of right now, me recording this video, but one of the leakers randomly said, boring content so far, ? Better content coming this week. I wouldn't say that the content has been boring so far. Like, this is the first 3 or 4 days of the game. I feel like we all have, maybe a couple of things to say about evolutions, because those just feel different and feel weird. But the SBCs, been a couple decent packs. Reece James is completable. Edin Dzeko is completable. The showdown yesterday is fantastic. I really don't have any complaints about content so far on these first couple of days. Of course, it's a new game. We're not going to expect crazy stat boosts with the slower power curve, which we're enjoying and mostly enjoying, and EA is doing pretty well with, except for the store packs, of course. But I wouldn't say this week of content has been bad, but he says better content next week. So I'm wondering if that has to do with this first promo of the year that is coming out. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk about today in regards to that content that is leaked there, what we should be getting today on Monday. And hopefully, if it is a slower day of content, like we mentioned, hopefully the market can pick up and we can see some prices rise. Make sure, guys, I'll mention this again, make sure you lazy list your cards, right? I don't want to sell Eder Militao right now for 71K, whatever he's selling for, 72K. But I'm hoping that he goes up to almost 80,000 coins during the next couple of days. Why not list him there now? That's the type of listing that I would do. Picked up a couple of Gabriels for myself too, for that same exact sort of situation. Just lazy listing. If you have cards listed up on the market, then you have the potential to make coins. So that is one thing I would tell you to do, is just keep cards listed. And if you have coins that you don't know what to do with, go pick up some of the most popular players that you see people using earlier in the morning time, like UK. I'm talking like cheaper cards, like less than 10K, so that there's very, very little risk if you're buying these cards. Just go pick up a few cards and list them up 1,000 coins more than what you're actually knowing that they can sell for on the market. Like Pedro Neto right now sells for 4K. 4.2K. Pick up a couple Pedro Netos with like a Hunter or the most popular chemistry style on him for right here, 4,000, or maybe even a couple on bid, and then list them at 5K, because there's going to be people that just buy this card for a price more than what he actually sells for on the market, because they're lazy. That's why it's called lazy listing. You're not waiting for his price to go up. You're just waiting for people to buy this card in a lazy way. That's all that it is, and it makes some pretty good coins. So that's one method I wanted to kind of talk about. You can do that with cards player cards. You can do that with consumables, shadows, hunters, basically anything, but it works best on the lower budget, at least right now, because that's where most people are. So that's the video for me today on Monday, guys. If you did enjoy it, drop a thumbs up on it, comment down below if you have any questions, and of course, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Let me know if you've made it to the end of the video, who the most overpowered player you've used is. For me, it's Dumornay, but I would say even this Mbumo card, he's right up there with Dumornay for me. I know there was somebody on Twitter yesterday that said that Mbumo was not very good for them. This dude's a beast for me. 17 goals in 8 matches, 5 assists, only a 2-star weak foot, but that's fine. I just use his left. He's a beast, man. He's a freaking beast. He's rapid. The first touch is cool. Don't really use the inventive that much, but the game changer we use a decent amount for the Trivellas when we get into the appropriate situations. He's pretty solid. So anyways, let me know in the comments who that player is for you, and I will see you guys in the stream today here on YouTube and on Twitch as well. Let's have a great Monday. Let's get some Rivals points today too. All right, guys. Love you. It's been TheFutAccountant. Catch you later. Peace out.